We've generated more than 21.6 million in revenue just in Q5 from Meta Ads. It's a season where we have seen a growth of more than 350% across e-commerce clients. And I'm going to break down the 4 best learnings that we got from this Q5 across all of our clients and across all of the ad spend that we've used. My name is Victor. I'm a founder of Active Promotion, which is a digital marketing agency helping companies scale across borders into new markets, and I'm a partner in a 7-figure e-com business. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is that the competitors in the market are sleeping. And this might sound weird, but the reason is when companies look at their new year, they look, okay, so this is 2026, what are our budgets, what are we going to target, what are we going to spend, etc. A lot of companies do this. So they say Q1, they say Q2, they say Q3, and they say Q4. You might see right here that it doesn't say Q5 anywhere. And that's something that a lot of companies forget. They simply forget the season that goes from end of Q5 or ending of Q5 and actually into just the start of Q1. So the reason why the competitors are sleeping on this is simply because it's not a part of their budget. If they are not really aware of what's going on, they very often don't remember it. So the Q5 is going from the 26th of December until like 16th/19th of January. What is super interesting is that the competitors might see that performance is doing well. So they might say, okay, well, in this period, there is Christmas, there are bank holidays, just in general, people are taking time off. The Q4 has been busy, they need to rest, all of that, and there's New Year. So in this whole period, they are super busy. So from the ending of December until the start of January, they might not even like really notice. And then as soon as they go into January, they are like super busy. They gotta catch up. They gotta look at targets. And before they've even looked around, they spend 4-5 days sleeping. Sleeping on the performance that potentially could make them a lot of money, which means that they got around 10, maximum 14 days left of the Q5. The funny thing about it is that the ending of the Q4 is where people are getting potentially a lot of cash due to getting gifts they are going to refund, swap around. And at the start of January, they're getting paid. And in this period, Christmas, refunds. As soon as these companies wake up, a lot of the customers already spent their money. Doesn't mean that they can't really enter it, doesn't mean that they don't really have time. But what is super interesting is that you can use this season, if you're not sleeping, on preparing everything. So prior to this season, prepare your content, prepare your copy, prepare your landing pages, prepare your offers, and set everything up. So as soon as you get into this season, even the start of December, start fixing all of this. So you can have your off days in the Christmas, bank holidays, New Year, everything. So you prior to this already had the setup ready. You already figured out the content, the copy, the landing page, the offer, whatever. And if you need to adjust it due to other competitors not sleeping and they are just like running sales, well, you can always have time to adjust it. But if you need to start from scratch, being 4 to 5 days into January, let's just say that you get the idea 5 days into January, probably not, because 1st of January you're super hungover, you're tired or whatever, weekends or I don't know, whatever. Let's just say that 7-8 days until into the year earliest is where your setup is ready. Your content, your copy, your landing page, your offer, everything. That's that's around 67% of the Q5 you wasted on being late. The second biggest learning is the more you can attach your product, your marketing, your campaign, your whatever to the New Year resolution focus, the more you're going to sell. This is not just something that makes a difference when it comes to Q5 New Year resolution. This is just in general marketing. Making your marketing more directed towards the person that is watching it of course, it's a no-brainer. It's going to make you more sales. But for this specific season, it might be easier to attach on saying, okay, well, if we are selling running shoes, let's focus on saying a new year, new you, ready to start your running for January. Well, you're going to talk into a lot of customers being in that mindset, and the ones just looking to shop is going to shop either way. So you're probably going to resonate better with the ones speaking around the new year resolution and everything. So for the second biggest learning is attach product to season. So make it as irrelevant as possible. Because one thing that's super interesting is you'll definitely hear a lot of people talk about offers. Like you need to make a no-brainer, your offer has to be a no-brainer. To be honest, offer isn't always about discounts, like the lowest price, like gifting. It's not always about that. It's more about framing. More about framing what the customer actually wants, that the product that you're selling is a part of the way to getting there. So, for your running shoes, yeah, you might say, okay, well, discount probably make a difference. I agree, lower price make a difference. Gifting. But if you can frame your product into that this product is going to be the way that you accomplish your New Year resolution. It's going to attach, it's going to be much more personal, it's going to be different. Because everybody can say, well, discounts and lowest price and gifting, all of that. And of course you need to be aware of this. But if you can frame your offer to that this is the solution for your customers to get where they want to be, it's a much better offer. And it's not just about Q5 season overall, it's in general. But for this season, making it so that product equals new year, new me. If you can make that work, your performance will, I bet, increase because it's going to be more relevant. The third biggest learning when it comes to Q5 is to increase the spend earlier and shut it down later. So increase earlier. The reason for this is, as soon as Q5 begins, the customers are inside a mindset of they got some gifts, they might refund, they might swap it out, but it's very close to a payday. So it's very close to when they're getting paid. Another thing is, a lot of customers are on bank holidays, they're taking time off, relaxing, they're sitting on their phone, all of these different things. And that gives time for shopping. So I would rather increase it much earlier, being a little bit more, let's say, optimistic on it, and then shutting it down earlier to make sure that you catch the wave that comes early on. There's not as many people in the market, they spend a lot of money, it's mid-month. Start Q5 is where it's hot. And to be specific, what I think is the hottest area or the hottest date going from the 28th until I would say 7th or 10th of January. This is the area where I would be focusing more on, and I would be less, I would be more, say, strategic or more pessimistic on this whole area or on this whole season called this 10th until the 16th or the 19th. I would this is hard, this right here. And this, well, it might be hard. A lot of companies are, due to Q5, running January sales. It's not really because they are aware of Q5. They're just running January sales because they need to clean up on everything that's in stock. And what is often happening in this season is that the customers know that a lot is in stock. And when it comes to this season, it's out of stock. Because all the best sizes, everything, it's all sold out. If I was supposed to be more conservative on this one, I would start the 26th and I would scale it up around 29th, 30th, so you get the wave from the payroll that comes in. So the fourth biggest learning is something I might believe a lot of people think is a little wizard. But listen up. The weather can change everything. This season in Europe is known to be super cold, it's dull, boring, it's gray, it's rainy, it's snowy, it's shit weather. But something that definitely can change how an e-com is growing, how the sales are going, is if weather out of nowhere turns so much better than it's been for a long time. If you have 10 days of bad weather, one day is super sunny, you're going to buy I'm 100% sure going to see a drop in what the usual sale was supposed to be. The reason is that people are going out enjoying the nice weather. But in Denmark, where I'm from, we're having 10 days of rain and 1 day of sun and 5 degrees. This is not something you should be super worried about. This is just something that I would keep an eye on. Looking at how the weather is, like what's the weather forecast. This can both like change going up, but also change going down. So if the weather okay and it turns worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, well, you're definitely going to see your numbers going up. But it can also like drop your performance if the sun is shining. So, and this is not voodoo type shit, this is knowing your data. So just being aware of it. So this was our biggest learning from Q5 this season. And if you follow these learnings, I promise you, your Q5 next year is going to get way, way better. Thank you so much for watching.